Hi, I'm Kiki and today we're gonna talk about A Boss and a Babe. This drama has one season with 12 episodes and this is a story about Cher who just started his internship in Gungawin company. And during this whole story we will find out more about these characters, we will spend some time with them, and we will of course see how they will slowly fall in love with each other. And we will also spend pretty much time with Cher's friends. Well, I remember that after the first episode I wasn't sure if I'm even gonna like this drama because first of all it reminded me so much of Gap, and this is definitely not a compliment. Even the main characters behaved very similar, but fortunately later it turns out to be way better than Gap. And also I'm not a big fan of office dramas. Well, usually I don't like them. And also at the time I was already watching Bad Friends, so I was watching one office drama, and that was another reason why I was worried. And you know, in Bad Friend it was a little bit different because they both were employees and neither of them were subordinate from another one. But here we had a boss and intern, and I really don't like that kind of stories. But that's a completely different topic, and I will talk later how problematic it can actually be. And also from what I remember, it was aired on Fridays and it was right after My School President finished, and I still was in this universe from My School President. I still was thinking about these characters, about the story, and I just couldn't move on. And at that time, from what I remember, there were a few dramas which I had the same problem, that I just couldn't move on from these universes and I still was thinking about these characters, about these stories. So that was another reason why I thought that I will have problem with this drama and I will not gonna like it. But I still wanted to watch it because I like many actors from here and also it had some new faces and I was curious how they gonna act. So yeah, there were some advantages and disadvantages after the first episode, but fortunately since second episode this drama started to be great, and yeah, I really enjoyed this show. And something which I just love in this drama is that Cher and the Gungawin relationship wasn't showed as something normal and like all characters doesn't care about it, how usually it is in office dramas, but they highlighted many times that it was inappropriate, because it was. And yeah, I love it so much because this is seriously not that often, and finally someone created kind of drama and showed how problematic it can be. Well, not that much because still there could be so many problems which they didn't show, but yeah, at least they highlighted this and characters around them wasn't feel okay with it, how it usually is. So yeah, that makes this drama way more realistic. And also another thing which I really like is that the characters here were very well written, and even side characters had full personality and we really could get to know them pretty well. And you know, that kind of characters make universes even more realistic and like more alive, so it's always a huge advantage. And in general this drama is pretty good because this is the kind of drama which is very cute and theoretically light and definitely will make you smile a lot, but also can make you cry a little bit, or at least I cried sometimes. But the story was good, acting was very nice, and even the whole vibe was good, and from technical point it also was good. So yeah, I can recommend this drama with full responsibility, and especially people who love first-hand book, you just need to watch it. And also people like me who likes Mike so much because he had a pretty big role here and we could see him a lot on the screen, and yeah, he could again show his potential. And yeah, I still hope so that one day we'll see him as a main character. Maybe not under GMTV anymore because from what I remember he resigned, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Still, I hope so that we will see him somewhere, but also there are many actors who are not under GMTV anymore, but still they're playing in their dramas, so yeah, I just hope that we will see him in the future. And okay, now let's come to spoiler part, and let's start from our main character, Cher, who is such a cute, hilarious and chaotic character, but please don't get me wrong, I mean all of this in a good way, okay? And he was also very sincere and really straightforward, sometimes even too much. And in general I love this character, and I wouldn't be surprised if he would be many people comfort character actually. But there was something which made me a little bit sad when it comes to him, that every single time when he felt anxious or like he wasn't feel that well, he still tried to put his smile on and behave like nothing's going on, and that you know, still be this cute and fluffy character. I felt really sorry for him because of this. And in general, when I see people who behave like this, I get it why they're doing this, because they don't want to worry anyone. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with it, but it can be very exhausting for this person, and especially for their mental health. And yeah, it always makes me sad when I see this. But yeah, in general, I just love the sunshine. And okay, now let's talk about our boss again. And okay, how to start? I really like this character actually, and that he was so complex. But for the most of the story, I felt really sorry for him, that he was so anxious with himself, and especially that he was so worried that everyone's gonna left him, and that he will be annoyed for people who are important for him, because this is how his relationship always looked like. And that was really sad. And in general, every single time when I see people like this and I hear that kind of stories, I feel so sorry for these people, because you know, even if people left, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. Timing could be bad, or just, you know, we could have different personalities that we just not get along well, and there's nothing wrong with it. And also that he said Cher a few times that he's a bad person, I disagree. And okay, there was one thing which I really don't like, and yes, that was wrong, but this is something which he can work on and accept this. I don't think that he was a bad person. I think he was deeply hurt, but that's it, that he wasn't bad. But really often people's judgment about him was just wrong. And also, I really don't like that people make him believe that being antisocial and, you know, being like him was something wrong. There's nothing wrong. You don't need to smile all the time. You don't need to have many friends. You know, there are some people who love to have a lot of friends, but there are some people who don't even want to have even one friend, and every single situation is normal. And you know, there was nothing wrong with that, and it's not like he doesn't have friends. He has Bosch. In general, I feel really sorry for this character, but it was so nice to be with him in this journey, and you know, accompany him in changing himself, and to see how he, okay, mostly because of Cher, become more relaxed, more comfortable with himself, and that he even started to smile more. And yeah, that was really nice. And okay, coming back to Porsche, I like their relation, and that he always was there for Gun, and I seriously admire people who can be friends after they broke up. That's amazing for me, and I feel like he was the only person in Gun's life who never left him. And okay, partly he left him, but still he was in his life, and he wasn't annoyed by him. So you know, he was a great example that not everyone is gonna left Gun, and not everyone will feel annoyed with him. But yeah, again, I really felt sorry for Gun many times, and yeah, I cried a few times because of this character. And also when he talked with Cher, and he told him about his mother and how she tried to convert him into liking girls, it was just disgusting for me. And in general, I really don't like this mother, because first she did something so horrible to her own son. Later she tried to do everything to destroy his relationship with Cher, and that she was looking down on Cher annoyed me so much. But yeah, I will never understand that kind of parents. How they can want to destroy their own kid's life. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, we have another parent of the year in our collection. Now I want to talk about Cher and Gun as a couple, and I really like that even if they were almost complete opposite to each other, they kinda complete each other also, and that they had a very good influence on each other. You know, Cher got more mature thanks to Gun, but Gun become happier and more carefree in general. But their beginning was so weird for me, because they got super close right after the first meet, which was totally out of nowhere. And okay, when it comes to Gun, I could understand it, because he probably had a crush on Cher for a long time because of his SNMR videos, but I don't get it why it was so fast with Cher. And in general, I feel like he never actually looked at Gun as his boss. He always looked at him like his friend or something like this, but yeah, that was actually totally like Cher. Do you remember when the employees were talking about Gun, and that he's gay, like it was something wrong, and Cher showed them how ridiculous it is? And yeah, here I want to talk about something which just some kind of a phenomenon for me, that in our community, I mean here BL community, there are seriously people who are watching BL dramas and jail dramas, and they're homophobes. You know how shocked I was when I realized it for the first time? Because I'm watching BL dramas from years and I realized it after, I don't know, 3-4 years that people like this even exist in this community, which is so ridiculous for me because it just doesn't make any sense. Why people who hate gay, lesbians or whoever from LGBTQ plus community, why they would enjoy that kind of shows? It's just so illogical for me. I don't get it, why people even care that much if someone is gay, lesbian, trans or whoever from the LGBTQ plus community. You know, this is just part of these people, like, I know, having straight or curly hair. It doesn't matter at all actually at the end of the day. But okay, right, people can be rude for each other because of their hair. Okay, in general, I don't get why people are so mean for each other. But yeah, homophobes being the part of BL community will always surprise me. And also when Gunn said that when he admitted that he's gay, many people stepped back and that he was worried that Cher will be disgusted with him. It really hurt when he said that. And also, you know, that he mentioned this all ridiculous questions that people make, like who is a man and who's a woman in a relationship, who's mother, who's father. I will never understand it, and seriously, how stupid you need to be to even come up with that kind of questions. They doesn't make any sense. I mean, you know, when we have a straight couple, we don't asking them what they're doing in bed, how often they kiss, or, you know, that kind of questions. Or at least I hope so that people don't ask that kind of questions. But yeah, I seriously have no idea how people come up with that kind of stuff. And yeah, this should be over years ago, but unfortunately I still hear that kind of stories, and always frustrate me that still nowadays people need to go through something like this. And also something which I just love when it comes to Cher and Gunn, and okay, more about Cher, that really often when they had this typical cliche moments, Cher destroyed them right away with his comment and he made them realistic. And there was this scene when Tian came to the office and he had this fight with Gunn, and he told him that all people in his life are only there because of his money. And we could see how literally something crashed inside Gunn, and Forrest did a great job in this scene. And also in this next scene when they were sitting on the beach, we could see how many thoughts Gunn have in his head. And okay, back then I remember that I was really worried about Gunn because I felt like he got attached too much to Cher, and like he felt that every good things in his life are only because of Cher. And I really had hopes that he will finally start to see that he can be happy and there's so many good things in his life, and it's not only because of Cher. I hope so that you understand what I mean, because I was happy for them and it's not like something was wrong with it, but I was just worried that he's too attached to Cher, and that's it. And also something which really broke my heart when he said that he's so happy right now that now he's worried that his whole happiness will be gone. And I'm really sad every single time when I hear that people saying something like this, because many people need a disappointed kind of person to create that kind of idea in this people's mind, and there's definitely way too many people who feel like this, and it shouldn't happen. But unfortunately, yeah, this is our reality. And there was something which Cher told Gunn which I really like, and I think that it's worthy to mention. He said that even if Gunn likes him, it's not like he will like everything about him. And also that, you know, people are born with different background, and this is impossible that we will get along in 100%, which is completely normal. And I know that this is super common knowledge, but I think that this is worthy to mention because many people seem to be forgetting about it. And also, something which I like about this couple is that they were one of these couples who actually know how to talk with each other when there was a problem, except of course this part at the end when Cher just decided to disappear without saying anything to Gunn and to make him feel bad again, because the same situation happened to him again, and I was mad at Cher at that time because that was just mean that he did something like this again, especially knowing that he's super anxious about that kind of stuff. But okay, now I want to talk about something which I mentioned already, that there was one thing about the gun which I really didn't like, and it was in two scenes actually. First one was when he yelled at his employees. No matter what, he had no rights to do something like this and he should know how to control himself. And second one, very similar actually, was when he was drunk and he came to Cher and he started to yank him first, and later he even pushed him on this cabinet or something. This should never ever happen, no matter what. Especially that Cher told him that it hurts. And you know, it should never even happen in the first place that they would be in that kind of situation. And he had no right to behave like this again, and he should control himself. Something like this should never ever happen. And in this situation also, I was a little bit mad at Cher that he said that his life would be better without Gun, they shouldn't meet each other. And okay, I get it why he said something like this, because like he said, he was exhausted, and he probably was also scared and mad after what happened a few seconds earlier. But still, I was a little bit mad at him that he said something like this again, especially that he knew how anxious he is about that kind of stuff. But again, we're coming to the same point that what happened in this scene should never ever happen. And actually, I know that it was a drama and they supposed to end together. When something like this is happening, people should immediately cut that kind of person from their life and broke up with this person. Because if it happened once, it will happen in the future. And yeah, better is to just protect yourself, not become a victim and let things like this happening, because they're just wrong. And yeah, because of this I started to have mixed feelings when it comes to Gun, but I think that after all I liked him. But yeah, this one thing was definitely wrong and he should do something like this, because if he can't control himself, then he should work on this. Okay, now I want to talk about Tian, Thoop and Cher. First of all, Tian's story was so incredibly hard for me to listen, and I feel so sorry for this girl. And this is why I hate gossips, because I have no idea if people are so stupid that they have no idea how huge damage they can do to the other person, or they just simply don't care. And I'm really worried what's the truth actually here, because yes, gossip really can hurt someone. People who gossip really can destroy someone else's life, and I have seen this many times. And the worst part is that even if that kind of person changed the place where they live, still these rumors can follow them. And yeah, gossiping is not that innocent like people think. It actually can someone and destroy their life, which already should be the reason why people shouldn't do this in the first place. And I was so disgusted by those villagers that they did something like this to her. And you know, not only that they her, but they also destroyed Thoop and Cher's life. And I felt so sorry for Cher that he blamed himself and that he felt like he could do more even if he couldn't. And okay, maybe it will sound horrible, but when people decided to do what she has done, even if we will try to save them and help them, which is a good thing, okay? But still, these people can try to do this over and over again until they will finally success. This is sad and terrible, but unfortunately, in many people cases, it is like this. And it was really heartbreaking for me that he felt like it was his fault when it wasn't. It was this beasts from this village and Thoop and Tian's stepfather's fault, not Cher. And I really like that after Thoop shared the whole story and what actually happened, that Gun was there for both of them, for Thoop and for Cher, and that he told Cher something very important, that they can't change what already happened, but they can focus on the present and they can at least try to seek for justice for Tian, and they can try to punish this guy who did something like this to her. And in all of this, I felt the most sorry for Thoop because, okay, for all three of them, because they were just teenagers and no one should go through something like this, but especially not kids and teenagers. But when it comes to Thoop, we could see that he was very close with Tian and that she was really important for him, and probably she was the only person in his life who actually loved him and cared about him, and he doesn't have anyone else. And you know, when he lost her, it was devastating for him, and you know, at that moment probably his life just stopped, at least it looked like this. And seeing how much he was trying to mess up his life and in how bad condition he was really heartbreaking, especially that he was so young. And yes, we as watchers, we know that Cher loved him so much, cared about him so much, but from his perspective it doesn't need to look like this. From his perspective it could look like he's totally alone, that now when he doesn't have his sister, then he has no one. And maybe from him what Cher was doing was just because he felt pity for him. And I mean, I think that was completely normal, that he haven't seen how much Cher loved him and that he's not faking. I remember that many people were mad at him and didn't like him and said that he was unreasonable. He was in a huge mess. Expecting from someone in that condition that they will be reasonable, I'm not sure that's a good idea, especially that again he was very young. And this moment when he had seen Cher and Gun together, it was probably very hard for him because until that moment maybe he could see that like that he and Cher are in the same position, that they sharing the same fate, that their world just stopped, Tian is not there anymore and they can't move on. But he have seen that Cher actually moved on from Tian, and it was probably devastating for him. And maybe he even felt like at this moment he's completely alone, which will be completely understandable if he would feel like this. When he was talking with Gun, he even mentioned on his own that he was worried that Cher is gonna forget about Tian and that only he will remember about her. So yeah, no matter what, I just couldn't hate him. And also this whole part with him being arrested, it was so hard for me to see him there, and that he cried so much. And okay, I hope so that it's not gonna sound bad, but I like that that was this wake-up call for him, and that finally he realized how much he sabotaged himself and how much he messed up with his life, and also that he realized how much Cher loved him and that he always will be there for him, and that he finally realized that he can be happy and that he needs to let Tian live finally. And yeah, from this moment he was much calmer, he didn't try to destroy everything in his life, and that he slowly were getting better and better, and that was really nice to see. But I was so mad at his mother that she never have done anything for her kids. And seriously, what kind of monster you need to be to know what's going on with your kids, that someone hurting them and not doing anything about it? And okay, she lost her chance with Tian, but after what happened with Tian, she didn't care about Thoop also. She never cared about him, she never protected him. I really don't get it. And okay, great that at least at the end she finally realized and she finally decided to be a mom, but it doesn't change the fact that she really messed up with being a parent. But it was so nice to see Thoop happy and that he started to get close with her at the end. But yeah, I definitely didn't like her, and yeah, I wish Thoop the best, and I cross my fingers so much for him that in this A Boss and a Babe universe he will be finally happy and he will enjoy his life. And here I also really want to praise Jaffa, who played Thoop, because it was, okay, almost his debut because he was earlier in Midnight Museum, but here he had a bigger role, and okay, maybe it wasn't the hardest role possible, but it was pretty challenging and he did a great job. And I think that as a debut, okay, almost debut, I think he deserves to be praised, and he just deserves for applause. Okay, now I want to talk about Cher's friends because I just love this group, and this is another group from GMTV which really look like a group of friends, so yeah, they great with making them. I just love that they always were there for each other, and even if they argue, they always try to find a solution for this and fix it somehow. And especially I like that no matter what, they always help each other when it was needed. Like in the scene after Cher took a blame on himself and all of them came to his place, they just were there with him. They haven't done anything special or anything, but they just were there in case he needed them. And the scene was so cute when they were sleeping in his bed, when Zoe pushed T to make space for Cher, because at that moment Cher was the most important for them. That was so adorable. But also Jack, who was holding this plushy monkey, that was so cute. So I don't get it why they were so awkward when Cher took a gun to them for the first time. And okay, I get it that he was Jack and Cher boss, but after all, he was in similar age than them and he was just a normal guy, exactly like Cher said. But it was so nice to finally see him smiling and be more relaxed. And yeah, I'm happy that later, fortunately, they treated him like part of the group, but yeah, the beginning was super weird. And after the situation with Tom, when Jack talked with all of them, if he should talk with Cher about his relationship with Gunn and that kind of stuff, I really don't like that they jumped on him like this and they treated him like he's ridiculous there, when he was the only one who have seen bigger picture and that this is problematic, that they're together and that this relationship is simply inappropriate. And he never wanted them to stop being together, and he was happy for them and he cared about both of them. We could see this many times, that he loved Cher so much as his brother or friend, and he also cared about Gunn, but he have seen how problematic it can be for the company and he just wanted to protect both of them. So yeah, I didn't like the reaction. Also the scene when he finally talked with Cher, we could see how uncomfortable he was doing this, and that he was so anxious. And even Cher himself said that this is not like Jack at all, that he's nosy. So can you imagine how bad he needs to feel to be a bad cop there? You know, this is not like he wanted to even make this conversation, but if Gunn and Cher haven't seen how problematic it is that they're together, someone needed to say it out loud. And unfortunately, Jack was the one who did it. And I feel so sorry for him because, you know, he lived in constant stress, which wasn't good for his mental health. But also, we could see that he really felt bad about it, and he blamed himself later so much. And you know, it wasn't like he wanted them to break up. He just asked Cher to think about it, if this is inappropriate or not, and that's it. He didn't jump on him or something, and he didn't tell him that they need to break up and this is wrong or something. No, he just told them to think about it, if this is inappropriate or not. And he made a great point there, that Cher is gonna leave, but Gunn will stay there, and he needs to keep working there and manage these people. And you know, if employees will stop respecting him, he wouldn't be able to manage them. This is as simple as that. And I'm not sure if he told this to their friends or he told this to Cher, but it wasn't the problem that they were together. He was happy for them. The problem was that they were boss and an intern. And if Cher would first finish his internship and they will be together, it won't be a problem at all. I mean, if Cher wouldn't work in this company, okay? And after Cher and Gunn left, we could see how guilty Jack felt and how sad he was and devastated actually, and I was really worried about him at that moment, especially after the comment. And I know that Zoe didn't mean anything bad and he just was worried about Cher, but he really could leave this for a moment when Jack wouldn't be around, because, you know, it could make him feel even worse. And I don't like in general how people react around Jack on his decision, and that he wanted to talk with Cher about it, because first it was Zoe and their group in general, they didn't like it, but also later Oi, when he told her that he finally talked with Cher and he was asking her if he make a good decision, he started blaming himself. She said that he shouldn't worry her also. And okay, later she apologized and she was worried about him, but you know, the start of this conversation wasn't the best. And I was even more mad at these people because they knew about his mental health. And okay, I'm not saying that we should treat people with depression like they will break down in every possible second, but because of his stress in daily life and in general, he wasn't looked that good at that moment. They really could be more sensitive with him. And yeah, I feel really sorry that Jack even need to be in this position in the first place, and that I feel like literally everyone misunderstood him, because he never wanted them to break up and he was genuinely happy for them, but he have seen where the problem was, and that was actually advantage of this drama. But yeah, I felt bad that Jack needs to be the one who need to do this, and that he was sad because of this, because I really like this character. And the scene after Cher talked with Jack and later he talked with Gunn, this scene in the bathroom, I was sad and annoyed on the same time watching this, because I was sad for them, because we could see how hard it was for them, but at the same time, you know, they put themselves in this position even starting this relationship. But I was so annoyed at them because again they misunderstood what Jack meant, and he never told them to break up. He just wanted them to think about it and what they're doing. And also, I just hate this argument which Gunn used, that this is just between them, this is not about them being boss and intern. And this argument is just always in that kind of dramas, and it annoys me every single time, because yes, there's nothing wrong that they were a couple, they fell in love with each other. This is not the bad part. The problematic part is that they were boss and employee, or here boss and intern. So one of them were subordinate to another one. They wasn't equal at all, and that was the first thing which can create problems just for them. But the other part is that they were showing off so much that they were together, and if no one would know that they're together, maybe it would be different. But still, they were working on the same place, and if other employees would see that they're a couple, and yeah, they were very obvious about it, it can create many problems in the company. So this is the problematic part, not them being together and fall in love. Seriously, why is it so hard to understand? And I really don't like that Jack felt like he should apologize because he haven't done anything wrong. He just wants to protect people who are important for him, and that's it. But in the scene when he apologized to Cher, I like when he said that he can stop taking pills because his doctor said that he's better now. I was so proud of him and I was so happy for him. And I was so relieved because at that time I remember that I was really worried about him, that his mental health will be worse actually after this. And okay, even after Cher misunderstood Jack so much, like literally everyone in this drama, and I feel like even many watchers, then still I loved Cher and Jack friendship and that they always were there for each other, and we could see how much they loved each other. And I hope so it's not gonna sound bad, but I like that with Jack character they showed someone who's struggling with depression, because this is not so often that we see something like this in dramas, but I think it's important to talk about this, especially that still many people have no idea how it looked like. And you know, there's so many stereotypes about depression, and also many people still feel ashamed struggling with this. So yeah, I like it. I'm not sure if I can say about something like this that I like it, but that was a good part. Okay, maybe better like this. And I really want to praise Mike here, and I think that he deserves a huge applause for this role, because it's not easy to play something like this, and especially that he was so natural in this. He's I know how to explain it, but his look, his eyes, his facial expression, even the way how he was sitting, walking, and moving in general, and his body language looks so natural. And I really hope so that Mike never gone through something like this and he never struggled with depression, but it really looked natural, the way how he was acting. And yeah, that's why I think that he deserves very huge applause. And I still hope so that we will see him in the future in some project, not necessarily under GMTV, but I just want to see him again, and I really hope so that finally as a main character. And I also really liked, so he was such a cutie, and he was like a mascot for this team, but he was also their mediator in the same time, and for some reason they treated him like a kid even if he was pretty mature, and he gave a great advice. And it was so funny for me that he was keep calling Gun as P-Boss. And I hope that's not gonna sound weird, and I still have no idea if it was about Zoe or it was about but he had so much calmness in himself that when I was watching him I also felt calm. And of course I loved him and T as a couple, and yes, they were super cringe, but somehow at the same time they were also adorable. And I hope so that we will get opportunity to see Fluke and again in the future playing a couple, if they would agree of course, but I don't think so, since Fluke also is not under GMTV, if I remember correctly, because I can be wrong. But yeah, they had such a great chemistry, and if I remember correctly, Fluke asked himself for being his partner, so yeah, that would be really nice to see them again. But yeah, I don't think that it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind, and that would be really nice. Okay, now I think we can come to conclusions, and like I mentioned at the beginning, I think that this drama is great. I definitely recommend it, and if you're looking for a comfort characters, I'm sure that you will find some here. And also, if you want to see something cute, funny, but with serious topic also, and pretty realistic, then that's a great choice. And yeah, acting was also great. From technical point it was good, story was interesting, and I think that it's really easy to get attached to these characters actually. And one of the biggest advantages in my opinion was that even side characters had full personality, which make this universe even more realistic. And yeah, in general this drama is great, and if you had some doubts if you should watch it or not, then I think you should. And I also want to praise Book, Foz and Mike, because they did such a great job with their characters. And yeah, if you're their fans, then you definitely need to watch it. And if you're not gonna like it after the first episode, don't worry, and please give it a try, because I also didn't like it after the first one, but now I love this drama, and I'm sure that I will come back to this because I want to be in this journey again with these characters. And yeah, that's all I want to say about this drama. Now it's your turn. Please tell me in the comment section what do you think about this drama, who was your favorite character or characters, and you know, just share your thoughts. I'm really curious to find out what you think, and thank you so much for spending your precious time with me today. Please remember to take care about yourself, smile a lot, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!